we brought this house into your classroom so that we could talk about how Hashem created the universe to make a home in this world. Do you remember that? Raise your hand if you remember that lesson. Well, this time we're going to revisit this house, but we're going to do it from a different angle. Who remembers what this week's Parsha is? Thank you for raising your hand, Teruma. And in Teruma, the whole entire Parsha is about something very important that Hashem commands Moshe to tell the Jewish people to do, which is to what? Build a
Mishkan.
A Mishkan. So this lesson is about how the Mishkan teaches us about how to create a home in this world for Hashem. Now, how many of you with your hands raised, how many of you have a kitchen in your house? Okay, well I have a picture of a kitchen, and it's a very fancy kitchen. One that has 2 sinks and 2 dishwashers, and it's very shiny and beautiful. How many of you in your house have bookshelves filled with Sfarim? Lots of people have bookshelves with Sfarim. Lots of people said that.
That looks like mine.
The next one I'm going to show is curtains. How many people have curtains in their house? These are some fancy curtains.
That looks like
Very
mine.
fancy kinds of houses.
That looks like mine again.
How about walls with pictures of people that you love?
Is that your house?
How many people have framed pictures of people in their family
Yeah,
or of the
yeah.
rabbi? Okay.
We do like
We all have walls in our house, of
That's
course.
your house.
On Shabbos, how many of you have a beautiful Shabbos table with challahs and really nice plates in order to greet your guests? Oh, come on, everybody has that. Raise your hand.
No, I don't have that.
Everyone has a Shabbos table.
I have like one with old stains on it.
Okay, but any kind of Shabbos
Same thing
table
with the
counts,
table.
Menachem.
That's more beautiful than
How about
That's why I
Shabbos
didn't raise my hand.
candles? How many people have beautiful Shabbos candles that their
I
mommies
already
lit?
have to.
Okay, lots of you have that too.
Everyone
And we
has
have
a
2
thing.
more things. Actually, one might be hiding in here because I don't see it in my stack. No.
What? Check the garage.
I think something's hiding in the garage. Is there anything in there?
No, I see a stair.
How about after Shabbos is over and it's time for Havdalah, how many of you have Besamim in your house?
What? Me.
Okay, so we have a lot of things that are similar, and if we had all the pictures, here's my hidden picture. How many of you have a kos netilas yadayim that you use to wash your hands?
Not
or
me.
kavar, you could call it kavar. How many people have that in your house?
Yeah,
Okay, so we have all these things in our house.
I have 5,000.
Now, just to review, what did Hashem create in this universe to be His home? Thanks for raising your hand. Of all the places Hashem could have chosen, of all the planets and all the galaxies, Hashem chose our earth to be the place where Jewish people would live. And of all the places in this entire globe, Hashem chose one land to be the holiest land of all. What land is it?
Israel.
Eretz Yisrael. And of all of Eretz Yisrael, He chose one place that was going to be the holiest place in all of Eretz Yisrael, and it was going to be traveling with the Jewish people wherever they went. What was it?
The Mishkan.
It was the Mishkan. And of all the parts of the Mishkan that Hashem created, there was one place that was the absolute holiest part of the Mishkan. And what was that called? Kodesh HaKodashim. In that place, Hashem revealed Himself in a way He didn't reveal in any other part of the world. You can see a certain part that you cannot see anywhere else. Now, if I would look at all the places that I have in my house and all the things I have in my house, do you think I could find those same things in the Mishkan?
No.
I don't know. Let's check it out. This is what we use to wash our hands before we get ready to make hamaitzi. What did we have in the Mishkan that the Kohen Gadol and the Kohanim would use to wash their hands and feet? What was it called? The kior. What about candles? Was there a place somewhere in the Mishkan where we lit lights for an important... The menorah, that's right. So I can't see the menorah in this one, but I'm going to put a little picture of it so we remember what it is.
It's on the head?
What about
No, it's on the
curtains? Can anyone find curtains somewhere in this Mishkan?
whole
Menachem
thing.
Mendel, where do you see curtains? Oh, I see curtains here and here. What about walls with pictures of who we love?
Clear.
Oh, the Shvatim. Hashem loved the Shvatim. And those are on the sides of the Mishkan. What about our kitchen? This is a tough one. Who can imagine?
Over here.
Nachman says it might be the copper mizbeach where we used to take karbanos and we would burn karbanos and Hashem would accept them. Do you think that you could smell the smells of cooking karbanos there?
No.
Do you smell the smells of kosher food that your mommy's making in the kitchen?
Yeah.
That could be a good example. What about the place where we have our halas and our house? How could that be related to something in here? Here's a picture of the shulchan. Abraham was learning with the shulchan. How many loaves of bread were on the shulchan all the time?
12.
Right, 12 of the lechem hakamim, right? They tasted fresh all the time, even when they're old, right? What about the samin? What did we have in the Mishkan that was pleasing, a wonderful smell for Hashem?
The spices for the thing.
On the golden mizbeach, we had the kataris. That's right. It was a wonderful incense that was inside here. These were all actually in this first compartment of the inside.
Only the kind called the
What about, so we found this one and we found this one. What about svarim? That might be a hard one. Who could make a guess how svarim relate to something inside of the Mishkan? Mendel Rosenberg was thinking of it. Yes, inside of the Arain, right? That was inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim. And that, even this spot, right between the Cheruvim, this was the place where the Eibishter would talk to the Jewish people. So even that one spot was the most important part. That's where he would speak to Moshe. Now, who are the people in charge of taking care of this house? The Kohen and the Kohanim and the Kohen Gadol. And those people, I'm wondering, do you think those people were like us?
No.
Do you think that they were role models for us?
No.
I don't know. Let me ask you some questions here. If you look at the Mishkan, do you think that the Kohanim made the Mishkan into a place filled with Seder, of order? Could you imagine this being a mess with things thrown everywhere? Do you think that would ever happen in the Mishkan?
Well, actually,
It never happened in the
actually,
Mishkan.
it did happen when the Greeks came and also when it was destroyed.
During the time of the Mishkan, that was the Beis Hamikdash. What about cleanliness? Nikayon. Do you think this was a place that was clean? It was so clean that even though we were sacrificing animals and sprinkling blood and having all kinds of ash to clean, it was always spotlessly clean. Does that mean our home should be clean? Should we be clean?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so clean you can eat off of it.
What about this one?
In the
Menucha. Who knows what menucha means? Calmness, tranquility. Do you think this was a place where people ran around and were loud and were fighting? No.
I'm riding
So
bikes.
do you think that we should also learn to be calm?
Yeah.
Yes. What about simcha? Do you think the Mishkan had simcha in it?
Joy, yeah.
How do we know? There's even one time of year when we specifically went to the Beis Hamikdash to be the simcha. When was it? During Sukkot. Who remembers? Simchas Pesach?
Shova.
Yes. It was filled with simcha. What about zrizas? You know what that means? Never wasting a minute. Do you think the Kohanim were sitting around and talking and munching on their food, on their snack? Were they hanging out? Or do you think they always used every single moment for a purpose, for a holy purpose? Do you think Jews should be like that? Yes. What about kavod? Do you think the Kohanim honored every single person?
Yeah.
Even the lowest Jew, even the youngest Jew, even the oldest Jew, even each other? Did they honor each other?
Yeah.
That means, did they speak mean words to each other?
Mean
Say
Jew.
mean things about each other? No. They honored every single Jew. Okay, I'm going to skip ahead to this one. How about emes? Do you think they were truthful?
Yeah.
Because what would happen if the Kohen forgot something and he made a mistake and he lied about it? Would the Avaida be complete, the thing he was supposed to do? And even if nobody else saw, would one person for sure see? Who would have for sure seen, no matter what Hashem would see? So, does that mean we also should be truthful?
Yeah.
Now,
MS.
here's my last one.
Let's hear the MS.
Who can read my card?
Being the lamplighter.
Why do you think the Kohanim were lamplighters?
Because they're better than people's lamps.
They definitely lit the menorah, but I want you to think of something even deeper.
Because they
What
lit
does
joy,
it
they
mean to
lit
be
joy.
a lamplighter?
They
Light up people's heart.
Yes, they went out into the world with this Mishkan,
Mishkan.
and everyone who saw them, whether they were Jews or non-Jews, when they would see the way the Jewish people were treating the Eibishter and got a special blessing from them and the way that they were role models, it would make them want to be like that and them believe in Hashem. So being a lamplighter means being a role model of all these things that the Kohanim were doing. What does it mean to be a role model? That means you're like a teacher to other people by behaving those ways, right? So, the Mishkan was a place, just like in our homes and our lives, where the Jewish people were able to affect the world and make it into a home for Hashem. Does that mean that the Mishkan's not with us anymore and we don't have to do that anymore?
No.
Can you be a Mishkan?
Yeah.
Not just your house, but could you?
Yeah.
How would you do it?
Have a sucker box.
Sure. But how would you have it? You'd have Abbas Yisrael. What else would you have, Shabzi?
Light up people's heart.
That's right. How else? Parents, I know you'll have a good answer for me. How else would you make yourself into a Mishkan? Could you look at someone next to you and be kind to them when it's really hard for you to be that way? Could you tell the truth when it's really hard to? Could you accept responsibility sometimes when it's hard to? Yep. Could you honor someone, respect them even though sometimes it's hard to?
Yeah.
So that is the end of my Mishkan lesson.
What? So we get